At Financial Edge Group, we pride ourselves on the transparency when it comes to our costs and the fees we charge. We know that when we work with clients, we know we're adding significant value to their situation, and we want to make sure they're comfortable and know the cost and what the process looks like before they start. So let me talk to you a bit about that process. We work on what we call a fee-for-service model. So people only pay the fee for the services that they need and the services they're going to receive. So you're not paying for stuff that you don't need, and vice versa, you get a service for the things you do need. For us to do that, it's important we understand your circumstances, because every one of our clients pays a different fee depending upon their circumstances. We've got a pricing methodology that we work through to figure out the price is what's relevant for our client based upon their needs, complexity and circumstances, both now and into the future. We know that when we offer our fees to work with someone, that we're going to add value much beyond those fees, both now and into the future. We offer a holistic approach to our advice. For us to give you the best advice on your circumstances, it's important we're across all of your affairs. We can't just give you scoped advice on how do I invest this $50,000 in this one account. It's important we understand your broader affairs about what's your cash flow like, what's your debt, what much tax you're paying, what money have you got inside a super, to ensure those investments best suit. So for us to do our job best, we look after all your kind of circumstances, whether it be your super, your wealth, your investments, your tax, advice on insurances, retirement planning, all that kind of stuff, to ensure that the advice we give you is the best for your whole circumstance. Once we know what that circumstance looks like, that's when we'll come back to you with the relevant price and the process that we need to go to get that in place for you. We're confident when we work with someone that we can add both significant tangible and intangible benefits. Tangible might be tax saved, investment returns higher, or a benefit to the situation. They can get that dollar back straight away. Intangible is the peace of mind, knowing things are being set up the right way and they've got a relationship for someone they can work with. But just don't take our word for it. Vanguard and Russell Investments are two big investment companies, and they put together an annual survey of the value of an advisor working with their clients. And that covers many areas, from tax to asset allocation to investment risk. And they're of the opinion that an advisor typically adds about 5.2% as an improved return or improved circumstance of when they're working with the client's affairs. They compare that to the industry average, where a lot of advisors charge about 1% a year to look after someone's affairs. However, we work a bit different at Financial Edge. We don't just charge a straight percentage based upon someone's affairs. We work on what's called a flat fee dollar approach. So you know exactly what you're paying for the circumstance of your advice, and it's not a percentage. That's dependent on your circumstances and the complexity of what that looks like. When you first come on board a Financial Edge Group, there's a fair bit of work we need to do to review your whole circumstance. Make sure that everything's set up the right way it needs to be, the investments match to what your goals and needs are, the fees you're paying are fair, there might be savings that could be made there, and you're maximising all the tax strategies you need to do. So often there's an onboarding cost for the work we do and what that looks like. That typically covers the first 2, 3, 4 months worth of work that we do for you, and it's a result of the amount of time and effort we put in to look after your affairs. That fee is what's called a statement of advice fee, and we'll give you that quote and that proposal before we get started. So you know exactly what that looks like before we start that process. We may have given you a range, but as part of this process, we'll give you an exact dollar fee for what that looks like, and also importantly, when those payments are expected to be due. We only offer this service to clients if we know we can add value much beyond our fees. While we're confident that the initial advice fee will add significant value to your situation, give you the framework about what we need to do in the short term to correct things, but also map out the long term for you, whether that's the next 3, 5, 10, 50 years, depending upon your circumstance. But we view financial planning as a relationship and not a transaction. So most of the clients who come on board with us stay with us for their lifetime. And so then effectively, once we get through that initial phase, and again, that covers the first few months, we then move into our ongoing service agreement. And again, this is transparent. You know what you're paying for before we get started, and we'll quote that fee to you along the process. Often that's an annual agreement, and so that you know exactly what we're doing for you over the 12-month period, and we know the value that we're going to add for you as well. We'll come and quote that figure to you, and that's typically paid in 12 monthly installments, debited from your bank account or your super fund or your investment account, depending upon your circumstance, and we'll confirm that with you as well. But you know the exact dollar figure you're paying for our services for that 12-month period. The way we calculate our ongoing service fees depending upon your circumstance, your situation. So we'll give you the quote for the next 12 months based upon the things that we know that are in your circumstance and what that looks like in terms of the time and effort that we need to put in to look after your circumstance to maximise that. Our ongoing fee, depending on circumstances, are often tax deductible, and we try to make sure we maximise that tax result for you to deduct those in the right situations. As best as we map out your plan, we know the reality is things change. So your life may change, the investment markets may change, the rules might change in those respects. Often people's plans need to be spread over a few years to maximise that. So that ongoing fee covers all the work we do. It covers the relationship with us. It will include meetings with us and our team, as all the stuff we do behind the scenes, looking after your paperwork, being there to answer the phone when you've got a question when we need to, so you know you've got that value of that advice. Every 12 months we'll come back and offer you a new proposal for the next 12 months. Sometimes it might be the exact same fee. Sometimes if your circumstances have changed, there's a bit more happening, or there's a certain strategy we need to do in a certain year, the fee might be a bit higher, but we'll quote that to you before we start. And vice versa, if your affairs are simplified, we've done a whole bunch of complex strategies, and now we're kind of in maintenance mode, our fees will adjust and reduce, but you know that before that starts. The way we like to do it is that you know what you're paying, we know what we're providing to you, and we think it's fair to both parties to enjoy that benefit along the way, but also to give you the confidence that we're the team that you can rely upon. You're not afraid to pick up the phone or reach out to us because you know you're not going to be billed an extra 10 minutes here or half an hour there. You get to maximise and use us to the best of our ability as part of that process and relationship. In summary, we're looking forward to working with you, and we're confident we can help you look after your affairs. Some of that, as I said, is tangible, we get happening straight away. Some of it's about mapping out the next few years for you. If we're offering you these services, we know we're going to add significant value now and into the future. And it's important for you to know that you've got a relationship with the team that's looking after your best interest and proactive to come to you when things change that affect your needs and circumstance. And importantly, because we're transparent, because it's fee for service, every 12 months you get the option to choose to renew that service with us. We're very confident Financial Edge Group that the clients who come on board with us are going to be clients for life, because we'll look after their affairs for now and into the future. Looking forward to working with you.